a woman now stood. She was breathtakingly beautiful, draped in a gown of fiery red silk. Lin Tian stared, his mind struggling to catch up. Dragon King? You are. She didn't let him finish. I don't want to beat around the bush, she stated. She stepped closer, the heat radiating from her. The second condition is this: you will give me a dragon egg. Lin Tian's brain short-circuited. A dragon egg? Is she asking me to lay an egg? How in the hells does that even work? This was not the negotiation he had prepared for. Seeing his stunned silence, she made her offer. As long as you agree, I will tell you the precise coordinates of the dwarfs. The goblin in him finally found its voice, laced with pure, unadulterated disbelief. Goblin. Lord Dragon King, I'm just a goblin. Are you serious? A flash of impatience crossed her majestic features. Don't play dumb with me, she snapped, the temperature in the cavern spiking slightly. The existence of the dragon Despair has already proven that goblin blood can sire powerful hybrid dragons. Her eyes narrowed, and the friendly pretense vanished, replaced by a cold, hard threat. And if you refuse, you will never leave this lava cave. Well, that's a compelling argument, Lin Tian thought, a cold sweat tracing his spine despite the oppressive heat. He finally understood. The pieces clicked into place. Legend spoke of the ancient dragon lineages growing thin and weak. The succession of royal power depended entirely on the strength of one's bloodline. For millions of years, the throne had been dominated in turns by the most powerful purebloods, the majestic crystal dragons and the radiant light dragons. She, a ruler of a presumably lesser elemental bloodline, wasn't just making a proposition, she was launching a bloodline coup, and she needed him to do it. After a while, Lin Tian finally nodded. If this is your condition, then I have no choice but to comply. A lewd, triumphant smile spread across the Dragon King's face, and she licked her lips in anticipation. Well, that was easier than expected, she might have thought. In the next instant, she practically pounced, throwing herself onto Lin Tian, and wrapping her arms around him in a grip that was more possessive than passionate. What followed was a brutal, frantic ordeal. Terrifying, raw sounds, a chaotic mix of grunts, sharp impacts, and strained protests, echoed off the cavern walls, making the very magma seem to blush. Be gentle! The Dragon King cried out, her voice a mix of shock and indignation. I am the Dragon King! You mustn't slap me around like this! This is not the dignified coupling of legends. I am a noble dragon! She insisted, though her protest was undercut by a gasp. After all, I never imagined that a tiny goblin like you could be this strong. A tired, almost imperceptible sneer touched Lin Tian's lips. She covered her mouth, stifling any further cries that might escape from the jarring pain. Seeing her struggle, Lin Tian let out another weary sigh. This is undignified for everyone involved. If it weren't so urgent, he stated flatly, I wouldn't have had to end this battle in record time. He withdrew, the ordeal concluded as abruptly as it began. I've fulfilled your request. Now you should tell me the location of the dwarf tribe. The Dragon King, wiping at her eyes, managed a shaky but genuine smile. The deal was sealed. Over 100 years ago, she began, her voice regaining some of its composure. I recall the Dwarven Kingdom building a very secretive outpost in the underground halls beneath the Rocky Mountain range. If there are any dwarves still alive, they will surely be there. The Rocky Mountains. Of course it's somewhere remote and freezing, Lin Tian mused internally. He gave a slight, acknowledging nod. Then take me outside. Without wasting another moment, he mounted the young dragon and took to the skies, setting a course toward the distant, formidable Rocky Mountain range in search of the dwarves' hidden underground halls. It's going to be a long flight, he thought, already feeling the chill of the distance to come. The Rocky Mountains were very far away. After flying continuously for several days, Lin Tian finally arrived. His eyes fell upon the endless, majestic rocky range, its lush greenery stretching far into the horizon. Even while soaring high above, Lin Tian remained extremely cautious. This is no longer the Three Lion Empire's backyard. The Rocky Mountains unmistakably belonged to a nation devoted to the worship of the Old Norse gods. He knew the dwarves' underground halls would certainly not be easy to find. His only real hope was to get lucky and spot a dwarf directly. From his aerial vantage point, Lin Tian scanned the landscape. He activated his keen vision skill, which sharpened his sight like a high-powered telescope, allowing him to see much farther and clearer than normal. "All right, where are you, you bearded little miners? Just one of you, that's all I need." His plan was simple: spot a dwarf, swoop down, and persuade him to talk. It wasn't long before Lin Tian spotted a figure. But this one looked nothing like the dwarves from the stories. In his mind, dwarves were supposed to be rugged, stout, clad in leather, with thick beards, forever drunken and rowdy. Yet the one that crawled out of a rocky crevice on the mountainside looked exactly like a skittish human child. The boy was glancing nervously around, stretching out his hand to pluck a single, stubborn flower from the cliff face. "If I can just pick this flower," he thought, "then that girl, Xiao Mai, will finally notice me." It seemed he had risked sneaking out of the safety of the halls on a desperate romantic mission. At that very moment, Lin Tian immediately urged his dragon downward, landing on the cliff wall opposite. "Greetings, dwarf!" Lin Tian's voice called out. The boy's eyes widened in pure panic at the sight of a goblin and a dragon. "A goblin? Here? I'm doomed!" His sudden, frantic movement was his undoing. The rock slab he was clinging to broke free from the cliffside, and the boy plummeted straight toward the ground below. A sickening crash echoed through the quiet mountains. The boy was gravely injured, blood gushing continuously from his body. He trembled in terror, muttering weakly, "Xiao Mei, I don't want to die yet. I still haven't won your heart. I'm still a virgin." Those were the dwarf boy's final words. Lin Tian slowly walked closer, his eyes void of emotion. Well, that backfired spectacularly. He only felt regret that he hadn't been able to ask anything yet. His original intent had simply been to talk. He never expected the boy to be so frightened he'd fall to his death. But even though the boy was dead, Lin Tian could still extract information. Immediately, he activated Fusion Devour, swallowing the boy's blood and flesh whole. In doing so, Lin Tian gained the ability to perfectly transform into the dwarf boy's appearance. Even the young dragon at his side, Xiao Huan, froze in shock, unable to recognize his master anymore. Lin Tian smiled to reassure him. "Don't be surprised. This is the true power of aberrant fusion. After fusing, I can either retain my own form, or take on another's." His eyes instantly locked onto the mountain crevice the boy had crawled out of. "Xiao Huan, stay here and wait for me. I must venture into the dwarven kingdom. Wait until I return." This time, Lin Tian's goal was not only to obtain a vast supply of enchanted weapons, he also wanted to seize the dwarves' legendary forging technology. With it, his tribe would be able to manufacture their own arms. When that time comes, the problem won't just be building a powerful army, it'll be building an unstoppable one. Excitement burned in his chest. Lin Tian leapt down and rushed toward the cavern. Following the narrow path, he advanced directly toward the dwarven kingdom. What he did not expect was that at the end of the tunnel lay an entirely different sky, an expansive, hidden world surrounded by towering mountain ranges. Before him stretched vast dark green forests, and most striking of all, a colossal, magnificent city standing proudly at its center. New chat.